Our today's video is brought to you by Firmoo eyeglasses. They make world-class eyeglasses with a very reasonable price and they also ship worldwide. So if you want yours, check the link in the description for more information. Budget smartphone market have been crowded for past couple of years, especially when Chinese manufacturers like Oppo, Huawei, OnePlus and Xiaomi got into the market. Even some top-tier companies like Motorola and Samsung is taking this budget market more seriously than ever before by offering good value for money devices like the Moto G5s Plus and Samsung J7 Pro. But among all, Xiaomi is the one to change the definition of budget smartphone every time they release a new device. But they have too many devices in almost similar price category, so many of you are still confused in between the newly released Redmi Note 5, Mi A1 and their best-selling Note 4X as they share almost similar specs. Hey, what is going on everyone, Ratul here from TechRats, and today in this video I'll be comparing the Redmi Note 5 with two of the top-selling Xiaomi devices, the Mi A1 and the Note 4X. It's going to be an interesting comparison, so go grab some popcorn and enjoy the full video. Comparing everything will be a mess and may take forever, so I have decided to talk about 5 most significant features that everyone considers the most when they decide to purchase a phone. Build and design, display, camera, software or user interface, and the battery life. Let's kick the video with the first one, the build and design. I think we should all agree that Xiaomi offers some of the great build quality for the price. All of these three devices share metal construction, but the A1 has a better design in my opinion compared to the other two, and it's slimmer as well. Note 4X and 5 doesn't have a bad design by any means, but there is nothing to be excited about. They look identical from the back except the fact that the Note 5 is a bit taller and narrower. All of them have their metal volume and power button just on point, and all three have a hybrid slot and fingerprint sensor on the back. I have noticed the Note 5 is slightly faster than the other two. Front glass of A1 and Note 5 is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass, where Note 4X doesn't have any, so you should better be careful with that. Moving towards the display, the Mi A1 and Note 4X have the older 5.5-inch 16:9 1080p panel, where the Note 5 offers the latest 5.99-inch 18:9 display with a slightly bigger resolution of 1080x2160. Though the Note 4X have the almost same resolution as the other two, but I think the Note 5 and Mi A1 have a slightly better panel in terms of color contrast, and even the brightness is better on the newer devices. And if you ask me, in between the A1 and Note 5, I would say they are very similar, but still I like the Note 5's slightly bigger display more. But as you are paying almost 20% less for the Note 4X, at least where I live, that minor difference shouldn't be a complaint. You can enjoy your multimedia content on either of these devices. One of the biggest differentiating factor of these three phones are their cameras. Except the A1, which have a dual camera setup on the back, other two have single sensors. Note 4X have a 13-megapixel camera which does its work just okay in good lighting condition but poor in darker situation. Note 5's 12-megapixel f2.2 with a slightly bigger 1.25 micron sized pixel doesn't go too far in terms of picture quality compared to the Note 4X, but A1's dual 12-megapixel cameras perform way better. Almost all the shots taken with the A1 turns out to be way more detailed compared to the Note 4X and 5. And with that dual camera setup on the back, it can shoot some of the great portrait shots as well, at least in this price point. In one particular place where Note 5 outshines the 4X is its capability to record 4K videos, where Note 4X max out at 1080p. A1 can record 4K videos as well, but I don't want to talk much about the front-facing cameras as the picture quality is just identical to all these three devices. If you want more detailed camera reviews with samples, check out my full reviews. The link will be given in the description. Moving towards the performance, all three is powered by Snapdragon 625 chip combined with Adreno 506 GPU, but the Note 4X have 3GB of RAM instead of 4 compared to the other two, and in performance it's quite noticeable. Both the Note 4X and 5 is running the MIUI 9 on top of Android 7.1.2 Nougat, where Note 5 is running the slightly newer version of MIUI 9.2, but the A1 is running the Google stock Android 8.0 Oreo as it's an Android One device. Theoretically, the stock Android should perform better and faster compared to the skins, but in my testing, I have surprisingly noticed that the Note 5 with MIUI 9.2 is actually opening apps faster than the Mi A1, and the animation on the Note 5 is smoother as well. And lastly, the Note 4X was the worst out of these three. Maybe the lack of 1GB RAM is causing that problem, but in terms of handling games and apps, none of them had any problem. All runs the game smoothly, even the highly graphics intensive ones. And last but not the least, battery life. Note 4X and Note 5 have almost similar capacity of 4100 and 4000 mAh respectively, but the A1 packs a smaller capacity here, which is just 3080 mAh, maybe because of the slimmer design profile. With the Note 4X, I was constantly getting 8 to 9 hours of screen on time no matter what I do, and even with a similar battery capacity, Note 5 was giving me around 6 to 7 hours of screen on time, maybe because of its slightly bigger display. And the Mi A1 was the worst out of these three. It gave me around 4 to 5 hours of screen on time, which isn't terrible, neither is comparable to the other two. And all of them takes ages to be fully charged, as none of them support any kind of quick charge. So which one should you pick? Well, if your budget is very tight but still don't want to compromise the overall performance and want your device to be last longer, go with the Note 4X. It still packs the best value for money. What if you prefer a better camera with slightly better look and timely software update? Then Mi A1 should be a better choice, but keep in mind that you have to sacrifice the battery life a bit, and it's the most expensive out of the bunch. And if you need that futuristic display, decent camera and better battery life, I would suggest you to go with the Note 5. It's slightly cheaper than the Mi A1, and I was really impressed by the performance of MIUI 9.2. Well, that's all for today. Hope you find this video helpful. If you do, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can also let me know if you want more comparison between different phones in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.